fed micron, made in USSR. So basically you have three modes of operation. There you can see the automatic, the long exposure. Here's the automatic. Take the cap off. Here you can see the light meter. Load it up on automatic. Fires. Cover it. And the aperture. You can choose the aperture, and when you choose the aperture it basically defaults to 1/30th of a second of shutter speed. So even at f1.9 it's gonna be 1/30th, and at f16 it's gonna be 1/30th. So the only control of some sort of exposure compensation is by controlling the ISO setting, or GOST as it was used in Soviet Union. Yeah, you have to look up a table on the equivalence of GOST and ISO. Basically, if you have an ISO 200 film and set it at ISO 400, it's going to underexpose, and if you set it to ISO 100, it's going to overexpose by one stop. But my biggest fear was that well, does it really work? And I had to check it out. Here's what I did. So basically I set the camera on automatic mode, as I showed before. Wind it up, set it in maximum ISO, and take a shot. You see? The aperture actually didn't go wide open. But you see there, this time it was a little bit wider. Well, wait a minute. On video, as I look through the viewfinder, the LCD of this camera, it appears that the shutter, that at each exposure there's a different, the shutter opens at a different width. But actually, when I looked away just right now into this little camera, and I can assure you that every shot, the aperture opens up just the same width as the last shot. Now, for example, let's bring down the ISO. Theoretically, the shutter should stay wide open because of the lower sensitivity of the film. There we go. No, I didn't cheat, it's still on auto mode. Now I raised the ISO again. We can see that the shutter doesn't open again. To me, that is definitive proof that this little guy still works. Little button right here. And I couldn't figure out how to put it on at first. It's kind of it was tricky figuring it out, but just after I read the manual I understood it. It has this tiny metal lip which you have to kind of hook. There we go. And after that you just close it. It just doesn't work. There we go. Hook it up, and there you go. Houston, we have action. That's the main precaution I heard on the forums, is that somebody sent back his film and he realized to his horror that it wasn't exposed. It doesn't have that input as SLRs do. It just has this little tooth, which I was afraid I was going to have problems on attaching the film to, but it seemed to work fine. Getting the lid back on. We're done. Let's just see what 1/30th of a second at f1.9 with ISO 400 will do with this DSLR. So, ready, set, and